Thank you. The most fearless. Hey. And he advised you to, and if you didn't check out uh, the iHeart Radio, you didn't check out the podcast, what I had did at 6 a.m. early in the morning time, I want you to go check out the podcast that I had uploaded, because we talk about WWE releases. We had talked about B-Fab. We had got released after she done signed a multiple year deal with her contract. We had talked about and talking about either much and people who got released, and then you know what though, I'm not gonna do a podcast though on and I'm either much not gonna be doing a podcast on Monday Night Raw, because I want to take some time out, because I know the booking is shitty, because I either much know the storylines ain't clicking. I don't care if the Raw Women's match in the tag team division, Monday Night Raw, they do not have no tag team over there. And either much I don't care who you either much put in front of, because if you put USA up against Fox Network though, SmackDown versus Raw, and SmackDown versus Raw, because they already announced it's going to be a 5-on-5 Survivor Series. Wait a minute. It's because WWE announced that SmackDown Survivor Series team responses Raw and SmackDown. And then the next week, WWE pay-per-view is Survivor Series. In 2 weeks on Sunday, November the 21st, the company decided to announce the men's and women's elimination match teams out for Raw and SmackDown those afternoon on Twitter. Survivor Series will feature Raw versus SmackDown match. There will be a man's 5-on-5 elimination, a women's 5-on-5 elimination match. Even through WWE has 2 weeks since the Crown Jewels pay-per-view take place, they better motivate Survivor Series at all. And then you have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and Donovan. That's 5-on-5. Will be for Raw. SmackDown has Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King, Xavier Woods, Sami Zayn, and Happy Corbin, and Manning Cap Moss. That's 5-on-5. So this Survivor Series team already been set up. So after 5 of the mans on Team Raw were on SmackDown prior to the WWE draft last month for SmackDown team, Zayn and Corbin were on SmackDown before the draft, where the other 3 team members were on Raw after WWE announced the man elimination match. They announced the women's teams as well. The Raw women team will be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Leah Morgan, Carmella, Queen Selena Vega. And the 5 women representatives team SmackDown are Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Sasuke Blackheart, Nia Jax, and Aaliyah. Because either much with Selena Vega, she done beat it. Toni Storm, Carmella, she done beat it. Either much Carmella, Selena Vega, Antonia Storm at Crown Jewels at Crown. She beat it Selena Vega, she beat it Tonya Storm, she beat it Liv Morgan, she beat it Carmella, she has beat it Doudrop, and you telling me that look, Selena Vega, WWE ain't had a chance to have after her dad was killed in 9/11 attack. And then, so WWE, it was at Madison Square Gardens in New York back in September. And WWE did not try to give her a match to honor her father. So they went on and fucked that up. And then, so with Selena Vega, if she was in AEW right now, she would be doing much of the work going up against Britt Baker, uh, Jay Kroger, and Ruby Soho, Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, uh, either much Jamie Haster, and I mean, it's just so much name because if Selena Vega was in AEW, she would be doing a whole lot of work over there at AEW in Selena Vega, and she is over there on SmackDown. That after they fired her last year in 2020, she the much got on the either much had got on tour and said I support unity, and Vince McMahon didn't like it. He got pissed off about it, and she been off the TV for the past several months. And then so you had WWE, they bought her back. Look, she probably fine in WWE. She won Crown Jewels and she started to win some matches. Look, I might not be a fan of Selena Vega. I don't see WWE in the near future trying to put the Raw Women's tighter on her, and WWE would just look at her any kind of way like she ain't ready for it. So, and her husband, Aleister Black, he is having fun in AEW. And if WWE choosing to do Raw versus SmackDown feature champion on each brand like they usually do, then those matches will be Raw WWE Champion Big E versus SmackDown WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, the Raw Women Champion Becky Lynch versus SmackDown Women Champion Charlotte Flair, the Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle and Randy Orton and Edge, aka RK Bro versus SmackDown Tag Team Champion, the Usos, and the Raw Women's, the Raw Universal Raw Unit State Champion Damian Priest versus SmackDown Intercontinental Shinsuke Nakamura. So these as still two more episodes of Raw and two more episodes of SmackDown before Survivor Series, so there could be title changes as we have seen in past years. So you know what? It's coming up November the 21st because we don't either much have pay-per-views into December don't either much have pay-per-views. So they either much have the Royal Rumble going to be coming up January the 29th, 2022. And we have WrestleMania coming up April the 2nd and the 3rd. So, and coming up in Dallas, Texas. So it's going to be a 2 nights event. So I'm going to be reviewing that. And because SummerSlam is going to be coming up July the 30th. I'm going to be reviewing that. But Money in the Bank, I'm not going to be reviewing that because I have business to tend to. So, Yeah, because I have business to attend to. So either much with you see, I talked about WWE releases after Nia Jax has been released because she the much want to take time because of her mental health issues, and WWE they didn't even much want to give her that. Look, WWE like this man is not going to be the person, him or Bruce or that fool John Laurinaitis who work backstage. That they are not going to take care of your health. They just really not. All they care is about they pockets growing. They care about their money going to WWE Universal and Peacock. They care about their money going today, and he sold a network for $1 billion, and then he still getting paid by Saudi Arabia. That's what place Crown Jews is at, and he's still paying them. And then like that's all Vince McMahon care about. And you know Nick Khan, he already done fired those people who was in those WWE headquarters. He done fired them, and then and fired some more people in the development department. You know, Nick Khan has his hands all off into it. And so, I mean, they end up, and then if you think WWE gonna end is gonna put, oh, if WWE is for sale, and look, if WWE was for sale today, that means if they release 20 people from WWE, you see, I don't want to sit up here and name those names into in 20. I mean, coming up in 22 for 6 more months, who will be getting cut? I'm telling you, JD already talked about it from 206 New York. Sean Ross Sapp done talked about it. Lee Sanders done talked about it. Greg Morgan done talked about these cuts. I done got on early this morning and talked about these cuts. Hey, WWE is not even done. Tony Castle, he done talked about it. So in every wrestling podcast done talked about it. So and we sitting up here looking like, I'm like WWE is bringing in bringing in more talent. If WWE sells the company to Disney, that means it won't be no WWE no more. And then for ESPN buys it, they probably gonna tell you, "Oh, let's lease some remote people." And if ESPN do buy WWE, you know what they would do? Nia Jax would still have a job in the WWE. Fab would still have a job. She'll be right there with Top Dollar, Ashanti Adonis, and Isaiah Swerve. She still will have a job, and the rest of those people. Frankie Monet would still have a job in the company. It would be a new CEO chairman who cares about wrestling, who cares, who will bring in the right WWE management, the right WWE creators, the right WWE producers, the right WWE fan base, who either much cares about a wrestler, who cares about taking care of their athletes like they are supposed to be taken care of and treated fair like they are supposed to be treated fairly and train them down and have somebody to train them down there at the WWE at the performance center and work on their weakness and their strengths and their moves and their signature moves and teaching them how to become a wrestler. And then you just don't train this one week. You gotta train every single day in the ring. That's what you have to do. And that's all I can tell you right now because around come 22, this probably won't be the last time you see budget cuts. It is gonna happen again. Look, Roman Reigns ain't getting cut. He's the only one is safe by all of the rest of them. And let's talk about SmackDown. This week, SmackDown is taking place just 1-2 weeks away from Survivor Series. Super signature WWE hasn't promoted Survivor Series much as long going into the pay-per-view that taking place on Sunday, November 23rd. Okay, I already know. It's is one of those weeks where WWE didn't average this anything going into SmackDown until a few hours before the show. They averaged Roman Reigns returning SmackDown since he was not on the show last week, and Shayna Baszler faced Naomi in a singles last week. SmackDown features the New Day beating SmackDown Tag Team Champ the Usos in a non-title match in the main event. So from the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, this SmackDown for episode is 11159. Follow me on Twitter. So let get it too. So this show begins with a shot on the crown jewels. They did not motivate even Evansville since it small city. They said it was the Ford Center. Where is the arena? They are in the famous instance of Roman Reigns was up next. The announcer where Michael Cole and Pat McAfee was put over Reigns as lot on commentary. So the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns made his entrance along with a special counsel in Paul Heyman, the SmackDown Tag Team Champ, the Usos. They show a highlight of last week when the Usos and the New Day had issue early in the show, which lead to the New Day beating the Usos in the main event. Reigns had company took their time getting into the ring to pause with their title. Reigns was ready to speak where the crowd granted him with your suck chant. Reigns said, when you smash somebody like Brock Lesnar, you getting got to celebrate and took a vacation. Reigns, sorry, don't worry, he here now. Mustafa, yes, Reigns told this tiny little no-name town to acknowledge him. Reigns said he has a great week, a private island. He was running around naked. His wife loves, and not even everybody had a great week. Reigns say that dumbass Brock Lesnar had a bad week because he got fined $1 million and suspended indefinitely. Reigns said that he got the stroke and the juice around here because he make it happen. Reigns asks wise man Heyman what else happened last week. Heyman rumbling on about Brock Lesnar. Then he looked at the Usos and Heyman rumbling one on again before saying that New Day beat the Usos that lead to the New Day rock chant. Reigns says that they are great and entertaining, but not better than the Bloodline. Reigns said he had through time understanding how his cousins, the great tag team of the generation, the Usos, lost to the New Day. Reigns asks who lost in both Usos pointed at each other, but it was Jimmy. Reigns talked it to Jimmy, saying he lost, and Roman wanted to know how Jimmy was going to fit the problem. Jimmy is going to make him acknowledge who the real king is, you tribal chief and the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. So the New Day, King Woods, and Sir Kofi Kingston made their entrance. Kofi wanted us to hear the seed of King Woods. Said he threw when you were king around here. You sat at the head of the table and then make a shit scene head of the table like somebody forgot who was head of the table. Kobe marked the island of Revenge, saying it maybe said a lonely wood said it's time for part of the program that the people actually care about was motoring. Even Indy Pat there's the name would say he had challenge saying if Jimmy Uso can beat him, the Woods will act normally. Acknowledge it. Knowledge Rangewood said when he beat Jimmy, he will have to be in the knee. Jimmy say that's they are banding the knee. Jay say they be in the knee to nobody Range want to speak to. So Heyman took the microphone from Jay and put it in Roman hands. Roman speak the bloodline himself. Kobe and Woods won't over Jimmy name, wondering if it's James or Jimmy, and announced that Jimmy will face Woods tonight. So it was a way to set up a. You see, with Roman Reigns though, WWE is need to be concentrating of building up on these superstars, stacking up, building up a stronger baby face, stacking up wins. That's what they need to be doing, because to have somebody who can take that WWE Universal Championship off of Roman Reigns, and right now you don't have nobody over there on that Smackdown brand who can beat him right now. And you just don't, because like Roman Reigns is good on the microphone as a heel. He is getting built up in these better storylines with Roman Reigns and his cousins, the bloodline, but you just don't have nobody is a threat for that tag team championships. For them. So Roman Reigns, though, whoever the winner come out of Royal Rumble next week, and that person got to be facing Roman Reigns or Big E for that WWE Championship. So let me get to this. It was a way to set up a match later. So promo worked it from everybody involved, but I don't think the match is the exciting. They continue to not martyring viruses, which is star rage for what is where Range was a SmackDown last weekend wrestling in the dark matches. After the show, Drew McIntyre, Street, and Profit versus Roman Reigns and Usos. Maybe he don't go on a vacation other than during the week, but I don't know. He was there through what matters in the storyline, and that Reigns was out for SmackDown last week, so he was upset that the Usos lost and wanted them to make things right. And the announcers team of Cole and McAfee talked about this issue between Sonya Deville and Naomi, with Sonya Shayna Baszler beat Naomi in a singles action due to Deville begin a carpenter referee. Baszler applies the cover clutch to Naomi after the match. So we had Naomi made her way for other singles match against Shayna Baszler, and we see a video air with Stone Cold Lady US. No, WrestleMania 38 tickets are on sale next Friday, November the 20th. So their wrestling graph that Jimmy Uso. Oh yeah, they tickets gonna be the sale because we got WrestleMania season gonna be coming up around come April. Naomi versus Shayna Baszler. Naomi with those press followed by punches. Baszler went for a move on the leg, but Naomi got out of it and kicked it. Baszler, Shayna come back with a release German suplex. Baszler went for a kick. Naomi moved and Naomi kicked Baszler to the floor all through Baszler. Battler got touches on that. Naomi with a kick to the head and Naomi sent Baszler into the side of the apron. Naomi went up top and hit a crossbody block for a 2 count. Naomi took the apron. Baszler got a hold of her and hit a Grant Rich power slam on the floor. They wanted to break there. The match continued with Naomi put Baszler's head between the knee and veered her head into the mat. Naomi with a sunslap flip for the 2. Baszler went for a Cuba clutch. Naomi stripped it off of it and got a pinfall win after six minutes. Sonya Deville, then WWE official, said that nobody is going to leave the ring until she say what she had to say. Sonya said that Naomi touched the ropes where Naomi was in the submission, so they should have broken the hold. Deville say that the match will restart. The bell rings. Shayna Baszler applied the cleater clutch where Naomi was looking at Baszler and then Baszler choked it out. Naomi, who was out on the mat, it went several minutes, but Shayna Baszler. This story has been going on for months and it keep on going. I like Naomi. If they want to push her, then they great. I just think that at some point there need to be a bet off, a payoff, and I am not sure when they get the match between Naomi and Deville anyway. I like some of the moves in the matches, especially that you quit Quinn. You quality moves by Naomi in the apron. Look, I'm looking like is Roman and why is Naomi ain't going to her husband and say you need to do something with this bitch Sonya Deville. This one been screwing me week after week in the match against Shayna Baszler. She put on a referee. She cost me the match against Shayna. Then I had Shayna Baszler beat last week. She comes out and bitch about how I touched the ropes and I had her beat it and I had Naomi. I had Shayna Baszler beat it, and she come out and restart the match. Like if WWE don't set this up to have that Naomi kick Sonya Deville ass. That is, and look, fans is gonna lose a whole lot of respect in Naomi, and they look at her like she is not nothing to them no more, and they is gonna turn their backs on her, and we don't want to see that. So with Naomi, there's need to come out and beat the shit out of Sonya Deville. and she continues to be a fucking asshole like she is the authority figure. And somebody need to step up to Sonya Deville, and she need to be held accountable. And knowing that WWE would just let her get away what she do, and she don't have no business messing with talent on the main roster. Because I'm telling you, WWE, this story is going to continue to get built up. And Shayna Baszler being a badass heel like she is. So let's see how it is gonna be. Let's see, because I would like to see her face Xia Li, Sasha Banks, Aaliyah, Natalia. I would like to see that, but right now she's a heel, so Shayna Baszler is a heel. So Roman Reigns was backstage in the dressing room. The Usos, or Paul Heyman Reigns, said he took 1 week off, then the show sucks. It was almost as bad as Raw. The Usos lunch at that, but Roman told them this isn't funny. Reigns got in Jimmy's face, and Jimmy retired Roman matches, saying they don't lose. And when Roman asks why, Jay say because they one, Jay say they got this and left with Jimmy. Is others why on show that Roman as obviously with winning and want the Usos to keep on winning as well. I mean, like, dude, the Usos ain't gonna come out and win matches week after week, whether they get put in these little rematches in the tag. You don't have no tag team, but they haven't faced it. Isaiah Swerve and Isaiah and Ashanti Adonis yet. And once they do get that title opportunity shot, they probably will get their match at the Royal Rumble. Because much as I want to see that happen, they probably gonna be the ones that take the title off of the Usos. You just don't never know what WWE gonna pull. Right now, they don't have no plans for them. uh, a video arena about Isaiah Lee come to SmackDown soon. Oh yeah, we had Reginald Hollins was interviewed by Kayla Braxton in the backstage, or Reginald talked about how the Irish Warrior Sheamus was his and do raid. Reginald said that when Sheamus would have a big match, they are watching it. Reginald talked it about some big Sheamus moment, like winning the WWE title from John Cena and winning the Royal Rumble. Holland said he learned a lot from watching Sheamus. I mean, he's on SmackDown. He ain't doing nothing either. He just back there, just backstage, just catering. Ain't doing nothing. That should lead to a story with Hollis perhaps begin paired with Sheamus as heels, and maybe Hollis can turn on him to turn Sheamus into a face. Yeah. And let's see where it goes from here. Let's see what this storyline gonna go from here. And we get they show a highlight last week on SmackDown when Sasuke attacked Sasha Banks. Sasuke was interviewed by Megan Morant. Sasky said that she had each. Sasky said that even since beginning on SmackDown, she lost it out on title opportunity. She lost it her um tag team partner. She lost the support of the WWE Universe in thanking to SmackDown last week. She lost the biggest match of her career against Charlotte Flair. Sasky said that last week was her heartbreaking point. Sasky said that she is going to run over Sasha Banks and anybody else who gets in her way. Sasky would add that she don't need a tank to do it. And that was a very good promo from Sasuke. It doesn't always have to be in ring promo doing a monologue to explain a heel turn. She ran to the point. She explained how she fused rent by things on SmackDown and she reaches a breaking point. I think Sasuke was really good in natural babyface doing her NXT run as well as on SmackDown, but this heel turn could be the best thing for her working with Sasha Banks. It's a good thing for her as well. I am excited for Sasuke. But yeah, because she don't look Saucy Blackheart. Like, look, if you have the tank, that means you a babyface. She had good runs down in NXT with the Bianca Belairs, the Shayna Baszler, the Kyrie Sane, the Oscars, the Rhea Ripley's, the Indy Hartwell, the Ember Moons, the when they was tag team championship. And when they called it her up to the main roster, look, they don't have WWE on the side of SmackDown. They just can't. They don't got no plans for Sasuke Blackheart on SmackDown because Sasha Banks probably be sitting at home trying to recover from that beating what she done took from Sasuke Blackheart. So if you know she gonna be on Team Survivor Series and you know that she have to deal with her. She have to deal with Sasha Banks because I don't care if they don't tag each other in, but one of them two have to get eliminated from the match. So we get Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo and Colin Los Lortos. Now they are lamenting cousin. They face the team of Cesaro and Masapa. I mean, yeah, because they Monday on Raw, Kevin Owens faced Seth Rollins that was set up on Raw this post Monday. So Cesaro and Masapa enter the tag team. Actually, the progressive match for World Show with Los Lorathos, causing Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs their trick street fight matches, which lead to Happy Corbin, Mancup Moss getting the win. Look, I didn't care. So Cesaro and Masapa versus the Los the Rate. Lotharios, Lathos, and versus Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo. Garza applies the armbar to a pre-tap promo with showing from the heels and then Masseuse hit a drop kick. Garza dive Masseuse into the turnbuckle. Carrillo tag in and hit a double drive kick. Carrillo Garza hit a double team splash on Masseuse, followed by Garcia hit a back body drop guard. Garza with a drop kick on Masapa. for a two. Mustafa hits a Garza with a scissors kick to create some space, and then Mustafa hit a DDT to count. Garza Cesaro tagged in for the first time. Angel Carrillo with a Cesaro hit for a uppercut, followed by spinning clothesline. Cesaro with a running uppercut on Garza on the floor. Back in the ring, Cesaro with a springboard choke screw uppercut. Garza back in. Cesaro giving him the swing, and Carrillo hit Cesaro in the back to break that up. Masood into the ring. Carrillo sent him into the roast. Cesaro saved Masood. Carrillo with a spring kick, and I jump heels kick off the roast. Carrillo holds Cesaro by the neck where Garza hit a drop kick for the pin. Fall win on Cesaro after about 5 minutes. Yeah, I didn't care about this match. I just didn't because with Cesaro, WWE ain't doing nothing with Cesaro. Ain't trying to give him a push. They ain't doing nothing with him. And WWE is not doing nothing with Cesaro. They just not. I like the Los Latos as a team, and the working well together in their areas. Always room for more credibility. Team Tag team in WWE, Cesaro was on fire after the tag that fans love him. Then he got beat. I hope WWE listen to the crowd to give Cesaro a singles push. Maybe put the IC title on him soon or something like the Masuni. I mean, Mansu was okay here. This was about putting over the regular tag team instantly of the two singles wrestlers teaming up. Yeah. I don't know if they gonna keep those two guys together. I just don't know if WWE gonna keep those two guys because they good at breaking them tag teams. So there was a backstage scene with Jeff Hardy. Taken to Aaliyah backstage, Jeff was talking to her about one of his daughters. Kayla Braxton tried to interview Jeff, who then left and walked it up to Sami Zayn, who was talking to Aaliyah. Zayn said he was the elder statement on Smackdown, so he had events for her. Zayn a suggests Aaliyah wear a pants shirt. Aaliyah asks if he is always like that. Just say yes and welcome her to SmackDown. I hope Aaliyah get a shot to be a part of a good storyline soon. She has been in the company for 7 years but hasn't had much to do, so let hope she gets some opportunities. There doesn't appear to be any storylines for Jeff Hardy yet. I mean, he hasn't done nothing since they drafted him over there, so let's see what he gonna do. But they have him backstage in those segments. That's all they can do with him. So we get Drew McIntyre made his entrance. Angel the Sword. Drew opened a challenge is up next. Drew said it was time for the SmackDown Wars of our open challenge, and he wondered who want to fight him into was Ricochet, who also camp over to SmackDown from Raw. They announced got excited about seeing Ricochet even through WWE Brawlery. I mean, badly. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm burping. So use him. Ricochet said he know Drew for a long time and he the biggest badass guy that he knows. Ricochet said that one of those days going to walk out there, step in the ring, and then Ricochet said all of those catch Paris won't Ricochet for slapping him in the mouth. Ricochet slapped Drew in the face. So Drew destroyed Ricochet with some head shots falling by belly to belly suplex across the ring. Drew changing Ricochet, sending him over the top to the floor. Ricochet with a kick off the floor. Drew got a hold of Ricochet on the floor and a belly-to-belly black suplex on the apron. Drew tossed Ricochet back into the ring. Drew with a other belly-to-belly suplex across the ring, then showing Mustafa Ali, which on a TV backstage, Meg Morant talked to him with Ali saying Ricochet and him have a lot of comic Drew jumping off the top with nothing. So Ricochet hit him with a drop kick. Ricochet with a springboard crossbody block in a standing SSP, but Drew challenged him and hit a suplex. Drew went for a shoulder slam. Ricochet rolling his way through his and got a 2 count. Ricochet with a super kick. Ricochet went for a moonsault off the turnbuckle, but Drew hit him with a claymore kick that was impressive. It went a 5 minutes. Um, a fun match that was only 5 minutes, but I enjoyed it for that must part scene. The made this most of their time. Drew winning was never in doubt. Ricochet might be a part of some stories with Mustafa Ali now, so hopeful hopeful that a good thing for them. The replay shows an incredible claymore kick to Ricochet, who was doing a Masapa out the turnbuckle. So we get to Drew talks Ricochet. That was a hell of a challenge that Drew left as the winner. So we get the King Woods Senior, Kobe Kingston were interviewed by Kayla Braxton, who's ripping on Roman Reigns, saying if he walked it any slower, it would look like he was moving in realisty. Wood said they would hate to see Jimmy pull a muscle since he will be in this need later on SmackDown. But yeah. So happens that King made his entrance with a Matt Cup Moss for a talk show segments with the Vikings Raiders as the guests. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss were set in leather chairs. They did some bad jokes. We're talking trash about Shinsuke Nakamura. Ricochet booed since the beat them last week. Corbin interrupted the Viking Raiders as guests. The Viking Raiders do of Eric and Iran were in their wrestling outfit along with their helmet. Eric said that they are there to be happy. Iper said that they are there to ride happy, the talk be called because it's corny and it sucks. Corbin ripping on them for beginning to guys sit dressing in Halloween costumes. Moose did a bad joke about a Viking followed by some repercussions. Later, the Viking Raiders were made so Fran Tarsin, Lurniture fortering around that lead to a break. So that was a very short talk show. It's probably for the bad. I don't think the happy talk show is working very well as a talk show segment. Yeah, the Viking, yeah, because we see this. The match was set up so Viking Raiders versus Happy Core Mad Cup Moss. Eric with a forearm to Corbin, that Corbin with a boot to the face, and Iver tagged in against Moose. Eric tagged in a body slam on Moose, and Eric slamming a Viker onto Moose. Corbin disrupted Iker, so Moose hit a spine buster. Corbin worked it over Eric with an elbow, followed by a Corbin working over Eric with elbows, followed by a chin lock. Corbin did the side of the ring inside back in the spot, leading to a clothesline on Eric. Moose kicked it, knocked it Iron off of the apron, and Corbin with a deep six slam for a 2 count. Iker with a hanging knee with a leg slap on Corbin, and Ivan tagged in. Ivan with a sidewalk slam on Moose and a flying crossbody to block Ivan. Ducked Corbin with a kick. Ivan with a six sunton out of the corner of Moose. I'm sorry, Moss. Eric tagged it in with a throwing of Corbin, and Eric slamming Ivan into Moss again. Then turnbuckle Eric hit a power bomb on Moss. Ivan was going for a move of the rope, but Corbin saved Moss. Corbin and Moss back away. Referee Jessica Carr counting them out, and Corbin and Moss went to the back to lose counter. It was about 6 minutes. But it was a lame finish to end a average match. This crowd really wasn't into this even when the Viking Raiders were doing their tag team offense. They counted out in it such a dumb way to end a match. I know it's finished. A 15 for a heel like Corbin and Moose, but it a stupid end. I thought we might see Nakamura and Boogs attack them in a side that didn't happen. Yeah, man. So, man. Pete, make sure you follow the IHeart Radio show. Oh, look who's in it. Yeah. Either much girl hear this screen recordment. Um Webcam HD, man, this best girl in the world. I like to thank these people who followers me, that who sending me the webcam HDX, man, the best girl in the world. I love y'all. Keep on supporting me. I really do. And we get the Hit Row group. Uh, we get the Hit Row group of Isaiah Swerve, Scott Top Dollar, and Ashanti their Adontes were walking down a hellway. Either much. Sami Zayn was there to tell them that their entrance on SmackDown was a little flat and he thought it sucks. Top Dollar and the guys asked Sammy to show them how to make a entry. Sammy told them to follow him. So I like to see Sammy interact with the new people. No more Be Fab since she got released. You know what though? I like to Be Fab because ever since Be Fab though, she was a better in ring wrestler. I'm sorry, she just did not have no experience to be in the ring with and I told y'all late yesterday. Early this morning at 6 a.m. when I had got up because B Fab did not have no in ring experience in the ring, and she was not ready. She's very good on the microphone, and she is excellent on the microphone, and she bought everything to that Hit Roll package, and she was tremendous to Hit Roll, and then Hit Roll should have never been called it up to the main roster. They should have never been called it up, and it was just like too late. That hero hit. I would have kept hero down there to the main roster for 2 3 years and let them feud with MSK. They could have been feuding with. Look, it ain't much tag teams down in NXT that who you can feud with and hit roll that if WWE could have just kept B Fab as a mouthpiece and they ended up releasing her after she done signed a multiple year contract with the company and she's gonna be sticking around the company for years. And I wanted that because I don't like to see people who loses their jobs and I really don't. So we get a air show that Royal Raw or Rumbound with how what happened on Raw this took about their money. They only started doing it since the new roster were in place. Sami Zayn made his entrance with his new theme song. We're doing same repercussion dance on the stage. Zayn had a microphone saying that is how you do it. Zayn said that is call it begin. Fail is having pressure, and that is what you need to be a part of my locker room. Zayn interrupted us to hit roll. Hit roll toys did a promo with Zayn saying they were great liberty in the house. Zayn did some of the repercussion dancing, Top Dollar serving Ashanti trashing Zayn with Dollar saying that Sammy sucked to the fan chanting. Sammy sucked at Zayn. When Sammy tries to leave to the back, the Hit Row guy stood in his way. Zayn said he wasn't there to fight. He will try to help Hit Row let Sammy get through, and Sammy said not going to forget his Hit Row ended. If you did know, now you know. But post Sammy looked like a fool again. It a way to show off Hit Row professional and how they are going to be threatened like a fool, a heel like Zayn. I mean, this was a stupid segment. I mean, like WWE, when Sami Zayn contract goes up, he probably gonna be leaving out of the door, and WWE don't have nothing else for him to either much actually really do. They just really don't. Because everybody got 90-day compete clause on that contract. Keith Lee got 90 days on his compete clause contract. I think the rest of them either much got 30 days complete clause on their contract. And like I told y'all that yesterday that Tony Khan is not going to sign everybody to a contract with AEW. And like lest he want to cut some guys on his roster, but when they contract is up, that means that Sammy he probably will have room for Kevin Owens to sign. And with Nia Jax, now she out of a job, but I don't think she would fit in the AEW. I really just think she won't. So either much with Karrion Cross, I think he has a 30-day contract, a compete clause on his contract. Bray Wyatt, when his 90-day compete clause contract up, he can end up where he wants, but I don't think he will end up in Impact Wrestling. Man, the best girl in the world. Uh, the man, the best girl in the world. So y'all give me love on webcams. The scream is recording. Okay. Okay. Hold up. And the last match on SmackDown it was a main event time with Jimmy making his entrance with brother Jay by his side. Jimmy who versus King Xavier Woods. So if Jimmy wins, the Xavier has to be in this knee towards Roman Reigns. If Woods wins, then Jimmy will have to be behind the knee towards King Woods. Woods got a roll up on Jimmy for a 2 count. Woods with a kick to the chest, then instead rushing leg sweeping a basement drop kick Jimmy to the apron. He punches Woods and sent him into the turnbuckle. Jimmy jumped off the top with nothing in. Woods hit a drop kick for a Jimmy managed to get some momentum by seeding Woods into the top turnbuckle. Jimmy sent Woods out of the ring by going up the bottom ropes. Woods hit the ropes a bet and Woods landed on the floor. So this man returning with a Jimmy hitting a spring kick to Xavier head. Jimmy with a running head attack against Xavier Woods. Head followed by running knee for a 2. Jimmy went for a super Woods split slapping out of it and it a run for arm. Woods with a jumping kick to the head. Woods with a spring superplex across the top rope, followed by a running knee to the head. Woods with a running kick to the knee, knocking down Jimmy on the floor. Back in the ring, Woods went up top and hit a leg drop on the top for a 2 count. The fans bought that as a near fall. They repeatedly showed how Woods got a lot of height of that move. Woods up top, Jay with a disruptant and Jimmy tripped up Woods on the top rope. Jimmy hit a Samoan drop of the maid ropes for a 2 that was really good as a near foul to Jimmy. Went up top, he went for the splash. Woods got the foot up in a pin attempt for the 2. Jimmy with a thorn to the eyes that the referee did see. Jimmy tries to pin with a assistant from Jay and the referee changed the cheating. Jimmy, angry with the referee, Woods did the roll up of death, where grabbing the thin for the pinfall went after 11 minutes. Win by pinfall, King Woods. This was the best match of the show that helped give the most time, which always helped, but always has some funny moments like the near fall where it's like it, like either guys could win the work well together. They roll up off death is so deadly as useless. The want with the king of ending sing the Usos tries to to cheat, it failed, and then Woods ended up cheating to win because it was payback for what the Uso tried against Woods, making sense, right? Yeah, I think so. Post matches, it was announced that Jimmy Uso had to be in this knee towards King Woods. Jimmy Uso didn't want to do it, but he was told by the ref that he had to do it. Jimmy knee lead down right in front of Woods. I thought it wasn't very long because there was Roman Reigns hanging a Superman punch by Reigns to King Woods. The Usos double team Kofi with kicks. Woods went after Reigns with a punch, but the Usos saving Reigns with a double super kick on the Woods. The Usos sending Kofi Roman, who hit a spear on Kofi. Jimmy Hells Kofi in a headlock, so Jay kicked it the right knee off Kofi, and Jay held the left leg of Kofi in a half crab. So Jimmy went up top and hit and Uso splash onto Kobe Rain leg. Rain was holding Woods to make him watch what they were doing to Kobe. It drew a lot of heat and boos from the crowd. Woods told was that if he was showed up next week, then he showed him what King looks like. Range and the Usos celebrate as the fans boo them. That was the end of the show. This was a good show in angle with the bloodline getting a lot of heat from the attack on Woods, with it looked like it set up a TV match between Range and Woods as well. Yeah, because they feuded a bunch of times as tag team champions. I mean, like, WWE don't have no tag team over there on that show. They just really don't. So that's the end of Smackdown because and I'm looking at WWE SmackDown overnight ratings. It's a high viewership. They dropped to under 2 million with the return to Fox. They had dropped it. So last night, the live episode off of WWE SmackDown on Fox drew an average of 1.978 viewers in the overnight rating, according to Sparler TV. An hour of drew 2.015 million viewers, and hour fell to 1.941 million viewers in the key 18 slash demographic. Last night, SmackDown drew an average of a 0.50 ratings, which tied for the number one spot for the night with SWAT and Shark Tank on network TV. Yeah. I mean, it drew. So the other one I'm finna get into AEW. And we the much get to the week Rampage feature a matchup. But when the Elite Adam Cole and the Dark Order and John Silver, well, CM Punk had confessed with Eddie Kingston. This is a AEW Rampage for the um, Chief Arena is St. Louis, Missouri. It was a live show. Followed me on Twitter. Let's get into it. The announcer was Excalibur Taz and Ricky Starks, who the LTR champion, that is a ACTIV average, where in the AEW, but he doesn't get booked in television matches. Awfully guess the Yale Chris Jericho was out this week. So Bryan Danielson entered to a big pop with a 6-0-1 record. Danielson is the final of the AEW World Title Elimination Tournament at Full Gear, where he was face Mauro, and Anthony Barnes was the opportunity with his tag team partner um, Matt Castle doing a rap on the way to the ring. Castle rapping the Academy only does numbers, but those these guys is bust growing a counts claimer. Caster claimed that Brian was the only no for this wife reality show on. I think Brian has done okay for himself. Actually, Castro suggested that Brian should eat some eggs because, like at Brown's, they are bigger than Brian Lee. Castro said, "I am going to put you into prove, dog, because I end careers quickly than your father-in-law, Brian. Father-in-law is WWE head of the travel relinquished John Laurinaitis, who is married to Brie Bella Mama." The fans let out a big O for the announcers, led with Taz saying that was good. Taz say maybe Academy will be in Tony Khan's good graces after that. There is some storylines that the Academy don't like Tony Khan, and then vice versa. So Tony put Brawls in a match against Danks because of that. And that the last line about Brian's father-in-law, John Laurinaitis, really got the tweets. Wrestling fans would up lingering about it, and Laurinaitis was trending on Twitter for most of the night. Amazing line by Cassidy at the end there. Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Brown and Max Cassidy. Brown did a couple of arm drags, taken down and celebrate after doing this. Bryan got a circle 60 feet pin attempt for a 2 count. Bryan delivers some kicks, then he bounces out of the ropes, and Bryan kicked him in the chest. Bryan worked it over Bryan with punches and kicks to the back, and then they exchanged the strikes. Bryan went for a armbar on the left. A bar got to the bottom rope, and Bryan kicked him in the back to knock Browser out of the ring. Browse Browser had Braun on his shoulder in the slam him into the ring apron. Cassidy with a chop shot clothesline on Bryan. That the referee didn't see that went to a 90-second picture-to-picture break. Browser was in control after hitting an angle slam at the end of the break. Brian Bowman's going after running up the ropes and hitting a running clothesline. The fan chanting yes for the Brian, and Brian working over Brian with a thread kick to the chest along with roundhouse kicks to the head for a 2 count. Brian with a running drop kick against the turnbuckle. Brian avoided others. So corner kick. Brian hit the turnbuckle and Brian hit a twist neck breaker off the ropes, calling the a rivalry for a 2 count. Brian when the Rose drop kick take a Cassidy on the floor. Then Brian hit a back body drop over the top on Brian onto Cass on the floor. Brian jumped it off the turnbuckle on both guys on the floor. Big pop from that Brian with a missile drop kick off the top of Brian. Brian held the wrist of Bowles and landing to stomp to the head of the head, and then LaBelle lock was applied. Brownies tap out to give Brian the win after 9 minutes. It was a good match. I mean, to put Daniel Bryan should be wrestling that much. Look, Bryan is better than he was because he wrestled in New Japan. He's wrestling because I like to see him and Adam Cole because when Callie O'Reilly contract is up, he goes to AEW. I would like to see him and Adam Cole, and they can get Roderick Strong. Look, they got Bobby Fish over there, so I would like to see him and Roderick Strong and Kelly O'Reilly and Bobby Fish so they can reunite the Undisputed Era over there in AEW so they can either much go up against the Elite over there in the Young Bucks and Doc Gallows and Kaya Anderson over there in AEW, man. I would be putting my money on that if Tony Khan goes out and reach out to Kelly O'Reilly and Roderick Strong to get them two over there to AEW, man, because AEW is the place. They have all that talent over there in AEW. Ooh, I mean, I'll put my money on that. So, hey, I mean, a good match as usual. Anytime that Brian is avoided, he had many longer matches than this is AEW. So it was thought to be in a lead match, but it was fun for what is was bars. Browns is a talented worker with a mix of speed, power, and technical wrestling skills. I am glad he got to show off a bit in the singles match. The reason was never in doubt here because they wanted to get Brian a win going into full gear. I hope the Academy get a tag team pushing the next few months because they're fans fun to watch. Yeah, I hope so too. There was a interview show fun last Wednesday on Andre Andrade indoor who was showing with FTR with Tony Schiavone doing an interview they leaked about how they beat it. Cody Rhodes and MJF were there to say they made a deal for 2 weeks for Andrade to use FTR, and then Andrade assists Jose give FTR 2 in beat loops with the idea that he give his money to Dex Haywood, the challenge Pac to a match on Dynamite. I mean, Pac gonna win, so CM Punk has into a big pop, and usually Punk was in street clothes, including a AEW suite. They want to break. CM Punk goes face to face with Eddie Kingston. Punk was juggling around the ring and joking that he want people to think he was running around the ring of 3.5 minutes. Punk say he supposed to go face to face with Eddie Kingston, so without featuring as he want to invite Eddie Kingston to my ring. Taz had problems with Punk saying the ring there Eddie music playing, then he don't show up and Punk keep on talking, so Eddie ended up going down to the ring without his music playing. So Eddie got into the ring with Punk saying Punk wanted a POLOG arbitrary. Punk say he understands that it sounded a code sending when a man interrupt other man's. Eddie Kingston admitted that he interrupted CM Punk a markedly act as if it was a big deal. Eddie Aberzier, APOLOGIZED, Aberzier, for begin a homesick through he had COVID. Had to get tested. Twist said he wouldn't get his friends sick and get his kid sick, but that doesn't matter because he has to imagine since he didn't get the great CM Punk versus Orange Cassidy. Eddie said, I am sorry, and played the word smiled value on his finger, saying it's played for his little ass. Eddie averages. The fans booed a bit. Eddie asked who CM Punk is. Punk said it didn't sound like much of an average. Punk said, you know who Punk is. St. Louis know who is Punk. And you pop. Eddie sighed. He tell everybody the truth. Eddie says that Punk was once a Oriole of his, along with guys like Samoan Joe, Homicide, Amazing Red, and guys like that on the Independence, and inspiring him when he started. Eddie calling Punk a low life scumbag to face nasty bitch, and the fans booed. Eddie say that Punk juggled him. Eddie said that he come to the locker room to be free from his mental cuff, from the street, from brotherhood, and all Punk did was judge him. Eddie said because he was fat and he ate a little bit, he don't play anybody games, he don't kiss ass on our friends with the bookers, and barrier of people to get his stuff in Kingston told Punk he was wrong. That was Eddie knows. Punk responded saying he hear Eddie limping a lot of uh bad garbage on him on Punk. Punk said that the truth is it was just him a homicide. Joe Danielson and they hold Eddie to a standing to the protest trail that they saw him. Punk told Eddie he the one that feel short of that mark. Punk said that you can't lose in the middle of the ring to a guy like Bryan Danielson, and you can try to blame Punk, but it is not Punk's fault. Punk say he is not wrong in seeing Granny in Kingston 15 years ago. Punk said that he is a fool to hold Kingston to that stand and expect Granny because you a bomb out. No, there is off his hat. Eddie, I am a bomb. Eddie motivate that he means eventually at full gear, then he almost had to sell his house due to the pandemic, and then he found his way in the only professional wrestling company in the world today. The fan cheer that Eddie asks if that is a bomb. Eddie want Punk to hear this. Eddie say nobody want Punk here. Then never wanted him here in that wire locker room. Is afraid to say it's but not him. Eddie told him to get out, stop some marking at Eddie. He smacked it that smartly his face. Eddie suggests that Punk fight him on 13 at full gear. Punk retires Eddie off. Punk said he don't intend to leave without fighting. Eddie and Punk said that Full Gear is a higher bar from him. Say he was thinking something like a revolution eventually of dark ways to make fans of AEW YouTube shows not begin a bigger deal. Eddie Legend. Eddie calls Punk a crowd, then repeatedly say, "Fight me," and Punk put his hands on his chest. Punk asked St. Louis if they want to see the match at Full Gear, so the fight cheer right on cut. Punk sees you on the 13th. Punk was about to leave. Eddie said he didn't care about winning or losing at Full Gear. All Eddie cared about was beating up Punk, and after he done beating Punk, Eddie say did me a favor and quit. Uh, Let me see. And did me, I mean quit. Oh look, it jumping off so. Yeah, give me time though, because I'm not done with Punk. So people staying there. So because do me a favor, because I'm looking for it. Wait. It said, oh yeah, it said I'm reading it, and it said after he done beating up Punk, Eddie say, do me a favor, quit again and leave for 7 years, but Punk up a headbutt the guy into a fight, then exchange punches and went brawl into the turnbuckle. That AEW referee went out to try to break it up. Try to break it there were wrestling in the ring attempt to break it up as well. Kingston tried to bite Punk during the brawl. They were support part with both guys looking intended, and fans chanted, let them fight. There was awesome. This was one of the best non-wrestler segment AEW has done in 7 weeks. At last, I am not sure when the last one was that was at the level. The promos from both guys were outstanding, with Eddie talking some very first proceeding proceeding shot at Punk for having a big ego in the past. Eddie saying that nobody at AEW wanted Punk there, and the final line about how Punk should quit again for 7 years that crossed the line. So Punk hit him with a head, but it was believable fighting Stelling because of the word it changed. Eddie was a bad heel, but I don't think he a heel. I just think he was needed to rallying up Punk, and now Punk has his third true rivalry in AEW where you want to see him kick other guys' ass. It's not just a match, it's personal feud. I like a lot. Eddie was outstanding here, and Punk was trafficking as well. If you miss it, check out the YouTube video post in your because it's worth your time. In this other match, we get to the trial of Christian Cage Laurinaitis and Jungle Boy was interviewed by Tony Schiavone and Kingston, calling the super kill part of the elite, said smacking off shit in Jungle Boy throws out challenge right now with those two guys again. The elite super kill at full gear in a full pause count out anywhere. I can't wait to see that match. So the Bunny entered for a single action. The TV tournament, 5 round, the Bunny versus Red Velvet. Velvet run to the ring and tackles Bunny with a punch, followed by a clothesline. Velvet with a spring kick to the head of Velvet with a clothesline on Bunny on the floor. Jay Carver watches at ringside with a small mark. Staley brains send Velvet into the barricade. Bunny kicks Velvet in the back to send her into the steel steps. Back in the ring, Bunny with a drop kick to the turnbuckle, the exchange form. Velvet with a kick and running stunner for a 2 count. Bunny avoided kicks, then did a roller with Thin, and they got a 2 count. Bunny with a Death Valley drive for a with Bunny and slapping himself after the near fall. Bunny was going for a receive DDT like Mood Valley got out of then and hit a move and called the final signature that was like a playmaker that MVP used in his career, where it likes a leg drop to the back of the head with a neck breaker, throwing in the Velvet cover for the win after a few minutes. It was a shot match to put on Velvet to have her move like in the tournament, since Jay Quarter will face the winner of the match. They want to have the face win, and the Kroger will probably beat Velvet easily in the next round. I like Bunny a lot, but they don't even seem to push her consistently. They are 8 men that have moved on the quarterfinals of the TBS tournament. The main event was up next. John Silver and Alex Reinhold was interviewed along with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, and Mark Henry, Count the Conducting Counting for interview. Silver wanted to call Cole budget on the beginning. Elite, yes, YouTube shows that I don't want watch Solomon speak about how he beat them last week when he had dressed like a barbarian. Called inside said today 8 ago on Dynamite he took a uh corny chair to the head, but he be okay. Cole said he's not somebody to mess with. Mark said it's time for the main event. So we had Pac versus Dez. Pac should with Dr. Britt Baker, Jamie Slater, Ruby versus Ty Quarantin, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa. That was probably a corner pin, Ruby. So Matt Striker and Lee Moriarty Lee Marty versus Dante Martin, Leo Rush. Brian Danielson versus Rocky Romeo. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page will have any AEW championship contract signing. and then did a rundown of some of the full year pay-per-view matches on Saturday, November the 13th. AEW World Champion Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page, and the Fall Counts Anywhere Super Kill the Young Bucks and Adam Cole versus Christian Cage and the Lucha and the Jungle Boys, and CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. I will be right here Sunday to review the match. So Adam Cole made his entrance for the main event, even with the Young Bucks. Joining him, Cole is 2-0 in the singles match. So he undefeated in singles match like Bryan Danielson and CM Punk or Cole. He lost in the tag team match. Same fans had budgeted signings, so I guess they watched the YouTube show. John Solid made his entry with some dark artist guys on the ramp, and then he went to the ring alongside Solomon. Looked up budget signing as well. Solomon wanted Cole to be his manager because it was based on report then WWE wanted Cole to be a manager, but then Cole left for AEW. Whether those reports are true or not, I don't know. Cole claimed he never heard that, so that's why I question the value of some of those things that get reported. So John Silver versus Adam Cole. So Silver did the Cole boom pause and the Cole kicked him in the head. Cole was selling like he was dead a bite after taking the uh, corny chair on Dynamite. Saw press slamming Cole into the top rope, followed by a running back elbow. Solomon tossed Cole around the ring, and Tosted said that Cole was medically clear but still begins up. Solomon tossed Cole across the ring again. Cole with a bumper kick. Well, Solomon was on the apron. Cole slammed Solomon on the head onto the apron on the floor. Cole heel Solomon in the karma clutch on the floor. So the Young Bucks kissed Cole on the cheek. They went to a picture break. Cole was in control with a headlock. Silver come back with a punch and kick to the chest. Silver with a back body drop followed by some fixing. Silver got a hold of Cole trying to leapfrog, and Silver hits a sit-out leap bomb for a 2 count. Cole and Silver exchanged forearms to the head, then Silver with a kick, and Cole hit a superplex into the knee for a 2 count. Cole ran the rope saw with a clothesline and running knee to the head and snapped German suplex in the running knee by the rope. Nick Jackson put Cole foot on the bottom rope, so the referee saw the foot on the rope, and it was just a 2 count. Then Dark Order guys went down to the ring. Cole went for a low blow. Sullivan blocked it. Sullivan kicked it Cole in the groin. The referee was looking at the guy on the floor, and Sullivan hit a spinning sit out powerbomb for a 2 count. Then fan chanted, "Holy shit," for that near foul. The fan chanted, "This is awesome," as the wrestler were on the turnbuckle. Cole knocked it Sullivan down. Sullivan blocked it a Palmamba sun-rising attempt at hit a jumping kick Cole with a running elbow Cole with two super kicks in the broom knee to the head for the pin after 11 minutes. But was a very good as a back and forward match. Cole is the biggest star, so it was obvious he was going to win, but I think Cole did a tremendous job of selling the head injury that allows Sullivan to get a lot of offense to look more credible. That near foul spot after the low blow into the sit-off powerbomb was Team Mendo's. The fans love Sullivan, who is really fans to watch, and teams of how he was interacts with the crowd is, in reception into recept with the crowd. Cole is teachment technical surround. There was that one creep spot with Nick Jackson helping Cole kick out of a pin attempt, but other than that, it was a clear match. I like this a lot. Adam Cole celebrates the win. Excalibur plugging next week. Dynamite Rampage in the full gear taking place next Saturday, November the 13th. That was the end of the show. I enjoyed it. We done went over SmackDown on a Friday night. We done went over AEW Rampage, and we had went over. If you didn't check out the releases of WWE, of 18 WWE releases, go back and check that out on the iHeart Radio station. But let me tell you something. Monday, I'm not going to be up here doing a Raw review show, because I'm taking time off this week. And Saturday, I'm not doing an Eagle Wing podcast. So I'll be back probably another Monday. I'll be back. So good night.